Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Jordan Davis podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Davis, and on today's episode, we got a few topics, exciting topics to talk about. Today, we got a new Black Widow trailer to talk about. We got some big Star Wars revealing stuff about the movie and Reylo and all of that. So it's going to be fun to talk about all these topics today. But before we get into that, I want to thank everyone who has liked, comment, subscribed to my podcast and to all my episodes. And if you're new here, I talk about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and all kinds of movies. So if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Now, let's get into the topics at hand. I think we should talk about, let's get the Star Wars first, then we'll talk about the Black Widow. So, the last couple of weeks, I think it was like right before Thanksgiving and a little bit after Thanksgiving. And now today, we've been getting heavy Raylo, we've been getting a lot more footage. They've been showing, I wouldn't say much of the movie because, I mean, let's be honest, it's a 141-minute movie. They're not going to show all of that in the TV spots. They've been showing about 5 minutes or so. And so you really can't get spoiled in 5 minutes. So I think what they've been showing is just different angles of different scenes. And, and as we get closer to the movie, we're getting more tidbits of the footage just day by day. It's not much, but they're giving us like a couple seconds more of a scene that we saw in the trailer, of another scene that we've been seeing in TV spot. So I don't think there's nothing really anything to be worried about. But I think out of all the TV spots, I have really loved the one TV spot that they put the Duel of Fates, and they kind of had Palpatine in the voiceover saying that this is going to be the last word of the story of Skywalker. I think that's really interesting, and really interesting that they would put the Duel of Fates, you know, in this marketing. Now, I don't know if the Duel of Fates is going to be in the movie because we did hear John Williams said that he's going to be using all of the music, all of, big famous Star Wars music that we all know through the prequel from the original and even the sequel trilogy that we all love. But I would really love to hear Duel of the Fates and in the Rise of Skywalker. Maybe we get that with Kylo, Ben Solo, and Rey fighting the Emperor Palpatine. You know, in Phantom Menace, we had a 2-on-1 fight, and maybe to end the Skywalker saga, we get another two-on-one lightsaber fight. We don't know, um, but I think that's very interesting that they would choose that prequel music to put it in a TV spot. So maybe they're teasing something. And I think the other kind of music that I really want in this movie, I think I would want Across the Stars because I know it's tragic, but it's so beautiful and iconic. And if you really think of it and you listen Kylo and Rey's theme in the beginning, if you put them together of their two themes, it's kind of like Across the Stars is just reversed. So if you listen to that, whenever you have time, listen to it. Listen to the beginning of Rey's theme and the beginning of Kylo's theme, and you put those together, it will sound just like Across the Stars. Now, I don't think Across the Stars is gonna be like their big, theme song. I do believe they're either gonna have their own theme song or it's gonna be a mash of the Force and something else. But I said before, I do believe Ben Solo is getting a new heroic theme, as we've heard in the teaser trailer and even the official trailer. I believe we're gonna get a new theme song of Ben, and I think that really signifies that Kylo Ren is dead, and so Ben Solo, once he rises, he needs a new theme song because he's new and reborn. And I think if they do give him a new theme, it's really signifying that he has risen. Now, I don't know if when we get it, I have a pretty good idea when we might get it, but I'm not sure. I don't have seen the movie, but everything I'm seeing in the promotional thing of the Rise of Skywalker, the TV spots, I'm loving everything. And I had this kind of thought about what if Dark Ray is more than a vision? What if there is more to it? Because what have we seen in all of the trailers, the TV spots, and all of the footage? She has had an angry look on her face. Ray has. And Kylo Ren has been very calm, very, you know, laid back, very chill, however you want to put it. He's acting like the Jedi. He's acting, to be perfectly honest, he's acting like Luke on Crate. And Rey is acting like Kylo on Crate from The Last Jedi. It just reminds me a lot of that. Now, we don't know what happens to lead up to this, but before I start recording, we just got another TV spot of Rey and Kylo in the same room. It's the white room that we've seen them before, and again, Rey attacks Kylo. Kylo is not attacking her. He's not even starting. In fact, if you watch it very carefully, he is stepping back and Rey is heading towards him. So I just think that's very interesting, and I think however it comes about, however Dark Rey comes about, Vision, some of it can be true. I just think however it happens, I think it's just gonna be amazing how we get there. Are we truly going to get Dark Rey versus Ben? Is that what we're getting? Because if we're getting like Rey is on the cliff of going to the dark side, and Kylo is now Ben again, and he's on the light side. Now he has to go save Rey from doing the same mistakes that he did. He wants to prevent that. And maybe when after this whole big fight about they're about they're going to have is that's when the turn happens. That Kylo is acting more light side and Rey is acting more dark side. And that's when the turn is official. She's acting more like a conflicted dark side user, and Kylo is that light side Jedi Skywalker. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to go completely to the light because that just wouldn't be in his character at all. But I do think he's truly going to accept who he is. Ben Solo, he's dark and light. And I think we're going to see that balance. And there was a recent Vanity Fair kind of article about Reylo, about Rey and Ben's connection and the power that it has. And I thought it was very interesting that when they're together, they are their most powerful. And it's kind of like they need each other to really accomplish what they need to accomplish and be Palpatine. If they are not together, they have no chance. Because Rey makes Kylo powerful in bringing out the light and balancing him. And I think Kylo balances Rey just enough so the light and dark can coexist in her. So it's just so interesting what this third act is going to be with Palpatine, and how does Palpatine really get into the story. I think it's just really interesting. Are we truly gonna get Palpatine possessing different people. I really don't know how they're going to use Palpatine. Is he going to be a spirit? It's really it's really going to be interesting because I don't know if they're actually going to have Palpatine in the flesh. Now we might have the spirit of Palpatine in human being form, but I'm not sure that we're going to get actual Palpatine in the flesh. I don't know. But like I said, J.J. Abrams is going to take risk here. He's really going to take risks here. I think this is one of the reasons why I'm so excited about the Rise of Skywalker, because I want to know what a movie looks like with J.J. Abrams taking risks. That's what I want to see. I really do. Because if you look at Star Trek, if you look at The Force Awakens, even though those are fun, exciting, entertaining movies, they're all about setup and there's not really any kind of risks that he does. It's kind of play by the book franchise setting up, but he's actually going to close a franchise, and he really has to do it with a big bang. So I think that's really exciting to me how he finishes off. Now, with the whole Bendemption and Reylo thing, I do believe we're going to get Bendemption. To me, I think he's going to live some way. However, we get there, I think at the end of this trilogy, he's going to live. He's going to be breathing. He's going to be everyone else by the end of this trilogy. What's going to be his fate? I don't know. Is he going to be exiled? I don't know. But if you would say, give me a percentage of Bendemption, I would say about 95 because you gotta leave some room because you never know with writers and stuff and their interpretation. But I think with Reylo, I'm confident that they're gonna give us a lot of Reylo. I think I'm about 85% on romantic Reylo because I mean you can take it any way with Reylo. I honestly believe there will be romance because there's just too much sexual tension between them not to do romance. And to be perfectly honest, they are the main couple, they are the main romantic couple, and the story is all surrounding around them. So I think I'm about 85% on romantic Reylo. And with Ben Dempsey, I'm probably about 95% on that. And I just think they are setting us up for big things for Ben, for Ray, and for their relationship. I really do. And it might be a shock to general audiences, but I think once the general audiences really understand what the story they've been telling through Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and now The Rise of Skywalker, I truly believe that it's always been around Ray and Ben. It's been about this scavenger and about this dark prince with legendary Skywalker blood coming together and defeating the worst evil of them all. And I really love the aspect of telling and ending the Skywalker saga through the eyes of a scavenger, through the eyes of Rey. I really do think that's real interesting. And to me, that's a great way to really focus on the Skywalker saga because the prequels and the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy have always been about the Skywalker saga, and that has not changed. But what I think is very interesting, and maybe this is why that we are getting Bendemption, is that because we are seeing Ben and we are seeing Kylo through the eyes of Rey. I think that's very interesting. I think that's something to point out why he's going to be redeemed. No, not only because it's a fairy tale, not only because that's what Star Wars is, and that's what the message of Star Wars is of hope, family, forgiveness, redemption, love, and all of that. But through the eyes of the scavenger girl who sees something more in Ben Solo than everyone else. And to really think about it, I think the Reylo fans and the people that really have really analyzed these movies really figured that out in the beginning. we are seeing Ben Solo through the eyes of Rey, her point of view. And I think that's why he's going to get redeemed. And then that's why I think he's going to live. Because for me, he can't be a Force ghost, because that'd really be impossible to do that quickly. For me, he needs to live. We can't do Vader again because he's not Vader. So I think you need to separate Vader from Kylo Ren. Yes, they are of the same blood, but they have totally two different arcs. And so it's gonna really be interesting in this movie how their arcs end, especially Ben's, and how Palpatine really gets into this story and how they really mesh Palpatine well into the story arc of Rey and Ben and how they have to defeat him. So, yeah, I think that's why I have to say about all the promotion of Reylo and stuff. But I want to hand it off to you. What do you think about the marketing of the Rise of Skywalker lately and the marketing of Reylo and how far they've been pushing it? Do you think they're gonna push it even more? They might show like some romance stuff. What do you think? I would love to know your opinion. But before I go into talking about Black Widow, I want to put up a question of the day or the question of the week for the podcast. So earlier I was talking about Duel of the Fates, about that song and how it's such a great song or theme in the prequel trilogy. I want to know what is your favorite Star Wars theme? Of all the themes that John Williams have wrote in all of his scores for Star Wars, what is your favorite one? What theme can you listen to every single day if you had to? It could be Across the Stars, it could be Duel of the Fates, it could be Kylo's theme, it could be Rey's theme, it could be Luke's, it could be Darth Vader's, be Palpatine, it could be anyone's theme that you like. It could be Leia's theme. Anything. I would love to hear what is your favorite Star Wars theme in the whole Skywalker saga. I would love to hear each one of you's favorite theme. It could be anything. So just put it in the comment section and I would love to hear what it is. So going into the Black Widow trailer, I have to say, after watching Endgame and Infinity War, putting all those movies together, I have to say I wasn't really thrilled for a Black Widow movie. I think they kind of lost their time with it. I think they should have done it way before what they're gonna do, and I really did not like how they treated Black Widow in Endgame, killing her off so quickly. And I just thought with the whole, part of Endgame in the final battle when they had all the women against Thanos' army. I thought Black Widow should have been there. I think it was a mistake to kill her off so early. I truly do. Because she was there from the very beginning. And even though that scene stuck out like a sore thumb, I would have been okay with it if they had Black Widow. Because it would seem right. Like, Black Widow leading that charge. Because yes, they had Pepper Potts there. It just didn't feel the same without Black Widow. I mean, she was basically almost there from the very beginning when she debuted in Iron Man 2. And I don't understand what the arc they were telling and how she finished it and how she was one of the sacrifice. I was just, you could have done it differently, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think that was my stance before I saw the trailer. To today, I guess you could say in the morning. Um, yeah, I just didn't feel like I needed to see the movie. I just didn't understand why are we going back when we can be going forward, because that's what I love about the MCU. We were always going forward. We were always telling new stories and stuff. But I have to say, after watching the trailer, I'm interested. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm going to see this movie opening weekend off this trailer alone, because I still think I need to see. another trailer. But if I'm comparing this to Captain Marvel, which the first trailer I saw of Captain Marvel, I really wasn't that excited because it really didn't come off. I need to see this opening weekend. I need to stand in line on my preview night. I don't. I don't. I never got that feeling from even the trailers that came out for Captain Marvel. And maybe it was the portrayal of how Captain Marvel was, but yeah, I just never feel that way. But for Black Widow, it's getting on a better start because I kind of like how in the trailer they're really teasing how we're gonna go back and forth from flashback. I mean, to be perfectly honest, this whole movie is a flashback. Even though it's not an origin story, it's still a flashback. There are gonna be many flashbacks to early days as Black Widow, to days after Civil War, and it looks like that she's gonna be reuniting with her family, and we're really gonna get to know Natasha Romanoff, and I think that really intrigues me because as we look at her character Black Widow throughout all the Marvel movies, we really didn't get much to know Black Widow. Only time we got to really know Black Widow was during the relationship between her and the Hulk, or in Age of Ultron. And I think for me, I think that was my favorite movie with Black Widow. It really went deep on her character with the relationship with the Hulk as well. And this trailer really did its job. I'm just gonna say that it did its job. It got me interested. I'm not gonna say it got. It's gonna, like I said, it's not gonna get me their opening weekend on the first day yet. I'm gonna have to see in the trailer, but I'm really interested. I'm gonna see what the MCU does with Black Widow. I don't know how far they can go. There's been rumors that they're gonna try and make this a trilogy. I mean, I guess they could do it a trilogy because I guess you can go into the 5 years between Infinity War and Endgame when when she died. So I think there are some things you can do. It's gonna be very interesting and how they do that, especially with introducing Black Widow's sister. I think that in the future phases to come, she could be the new Black Widow. So they could be setting a lot of things up in Black Widow, not just only through flashbacks, but teasing stuff in the future. So I think that's gonna be very interesting in how they deal with that and how Black Widow really truly has an impact on Phase 4 in the future of the MCU. I really do. So yeah, so that's gonna be the end of the podcast. But I want to know, what did you think about the Black Widow trailer? Did you see it? Do you have any thoughts on it? What do you feel about the Black Widow trailer and the movie coming out now after all these years? So I would really love to know your feedback on that. So again, thank you for listening to the podcast. I always appreciate every single one of you that listens and likes and subscribes, and I appreciate all of you. So until next time, I hope you have a blessed and awesome week. Until next time, bye.